Okay, so if you were a Roblox kid in 2017, you definitely remember this. So you come home from school, open Roblox, and immediately your friend messages you something like, "Do not log in on March 18th, John Doe is going to hack everyone." And for some reason, you actually believed it. Completely. You told your other friends, they told theirs, and suddenly half the Roblox player base genuinely thought they were about to lose their accounts to some guy named John Doe. And the weird part is, when March 18th actually came, spoilers, nothing happened. Not even a little bit. But the story behind how everyone got to that point is honestly way more interesting than the myth itself. So, who is John Doe? Let's start with what John Doe actually is. John Doe is account number 2 on Roblox. Literally one of the first accounts ever made on the platform. Made around 2005 by David Baszucki and Eric Castle, the actual founders of Roblox. And before this turns into something deep or creepy, it's not. It's just a test account. That's what John Doe is. The name John Doe is literally just a placeholder name people use for anonymous or unknown identities. So the account was created as a basic dummy profile to test how the game worked. That's it. There were no hidden meanings or no secret purpose. But back then, Roblox was so small that when a new player joined, the game was basically empty. There weren't thousands of players online. There were barely any at all. So the founders would sometimes jump in themselves just to make sure new players actually had someone to interact with. So yeah, imagine logging into a game and the developers themselves are the only ones there trying to keep it from feeling dead. That's what John Doe was for. Not hacking or trolling, just helping test the game and, in a weird way, keeping new players company. And then around 2006 or after it, the account just stopped. No logins, no activity, nothing. So it was like just completely static for years, completely untouched. So how did John Doe become a mess? Years later, the Roblox community did what it does best. It took something completely normal and it turned it into something way bigger than it actually was. So around mid-2010, somewhere around that, Roblox had this whole myth culture where people would find old or strange accounts and build stories around them, treating them like they were dangerous or supernatural. Stuff like, 1x1x1x1, or random glitched accounts, anything that looked even slightly off. People loved turning it into some kind of creepy legend, and eventually people started looking at John Doe again. But this time they noticed something weird. The account had friends. Even though it hadn't been active in many years, it had badges it never earned. Things were changing on a profile that wasn't even being used. Now, logically, you'd assume it's just a bug, and it actually was. So Roblox had glitches at that time that could let people force themselves onto someone's friend list, or trigger badges without actually playing the respective game. But instead of anyone stopping to think that through, the community immediately jumped to the most dramatic conclusion possible. John Doe is active, John Doe is moving, John Doe is watching. And that's when things really started to spiral. There was a group called the community, an actual exploiter group. And they took advantage of the situation. Using those same glitches, they managed to get themselves onto John Doe's friends list, which made everything look even more suspicious. And then they did what basically guaranteed chaos. They started telling people that John Doe was going to hack Roblox on a specific date, March 18th, 2017. So when you go to John Doe's account and notice his friend list has exploiters like the community, when the account itself hasn't been active in years, it raises some suspicions. And this is where everything went completely out of control. YouTubers saw the rumor and immediately ran with it. Thumbnails with glowing red eyes, corrupted avatars, and scary text everywhere. Titles like "Do not play Roblox on March 18th or your account will be deleted." Millions of views. And the audience, which is mostly kids, who had no reason not to believe it, started panicking. Players were warning each other not to log in. Some made backup accounts just in case. And others straight up planned to avoid Roblox altogether on that day. You had kids genuinely convinced their accounts were about to get wiped by this account from 2005. And the craziest part is, it all sounded believable enough to spread. Then March 18th finally arrived, and everyone was watching the moment. waiting for something to happen. Some people refused to log in at all. Others logged in just to see what would happen, half expecting everything to break. And then, nothing happened. No hacks, no account deletions, no system failure. John Doe didn't even log in, and neither did Jane Doe. And Roblox kept running like it always did. It was just a normal day. Roblox even had to step in and officially say that John Doe and Jane Doe too are test accounts, and there was never any threat. And somehow, even after that, people tried to push the date back to March 24, hoping something would happen. Still nothing, because there was never anything to begin with. And here's the part that's actually insane. So, after all of that, the mess didn't die after being completely proven wrong. It just changed. So instead of being a hacker, Jane and John Doe turned into a full-on Roblox legend, a horror character, a creepypasta. People started making games about him, writing stories, fanfictions, turning him into this silent figure watching players from the background. And the debunking didn't kill the mess, it made it bigger. Even years later, the account still ends up in weird situations. It actually got terminated in 2025 because some players mass reported it for having an inappropriate avatar, which it didn't even have. But anyways, the account got restored a few days later. Then it got terminated again on Halloween and brought again the next day. So yes, that was the entire story of John Doe. He is basically account number 2, created in 2005 by the founders of Roblox as a simple test account, and then it stopped being used almost immediately and never did anything after that. Never hacked anyone or connected to any exploiter group. The friends and badges were just bugs. The March 18th event was completely made up. The only reason any of this happened is because a normal account had a slightly creepy name and existed as a perfect time for the internet to turn it into something it wasn't. John Doe didn't hack Roblox. He didn't plan anything. He didn't do anything at all. He never existed. The only thing this whole situation really proved is how easy it is to convince millions of people that something is about to happen when there is absolutely nothing there in the first place. That was all. Thanks for watching, and don't forget to subscribe. See you on the next one.